Well, back in the shop today. Gonna start doing some cleaning on the bike. But yeah, I'm gonna get it going. Unfortunately, I can't use real music, but whatever. It is what it is. So let's get to cleaning some shit. Let's start with the tranny. Tranny is the easiest part, but we gotta do some protection. So yeah, let's get it going. So the first thing I want to do is, this is where one of my sensors, the transmission is, so I'm going to stuff some rag in there. Grab my WD-40 and I'm just gonna kind of hose everything down a little bit just to get all the dirt. As you can see, it's quite dirty everywhere. Grease, oil, road grime, all that stuff. So we will spray this just to get everything softened up. There's no way of doing this without making a mess, so WD-40 really isn't, it's just fish oil, right? It's just some fish oil, but what it'll do is it'll help loosen some stuff up. We'll let it sit. Then we'll find some paintbrushes. Gee, wonder if I know a guy who's got paintbrushes. Yeah, we'll get some paintbrushes on the go here. Yeah, perfect. Just a lid for a paint can, spray can. I'm just gonna fill that up with some WD-40. It's always good to clean stuff because, you know, when you clean stuff, you can see if there's any problems, anything wrong, cracks, you know, broken bits. And in the end, you know, you treat your girl right, she treat you right. Every girl likes a good wash once in a while, right? I think it took me about a week. Yeah, I think it took about a week to polish up. Some of the more stubborn areas, so here this is an acid brush, it's called, right? It's a steel brush. Bristles are quite strong. So for some of the more stubborn areas that need a little bit more scrubbing. I've got a few. See if it fits in here. Oh yeah, score. See? Usually they come with one, but double the rag up, get a punch. You know, I can get it into some of these ugly little tight areas. Polished aluminum. Doesn't take much to scratch polished aluminum. Or even chrome, to be honest with you. Like I said, my days of car shows or bike shows or whatever, they're kind of done because I don't really care anymore. But, you know, I still want to try to keep the old girl looking as pretty as possible. You know, sense of pride. I learned that a long time ago. I remember when I was putting I got a progressive lowering kit in the front end. The front end of my bike's a deuce, so billet aluminum was better than the stock one, right? So I've got a deuce front end, all billet aluminum with chrome lower legs, and I remember when I was putting the lowering kit in, you got to use a wrench to get the caps off on the top, and those caps, they're on there good, right? So I had to go out and buy a specific wrench. I think it's like 1.25 inches or something, right? It's a pretty big wrench. And I ended up putting this yellow tape on the wrench so that I didn't wreck my the tops of my upper triple tree, right? Because that would suck. You know, you go out there and get a nice billet aluminum set of triple trees and everything, and then next thing you know, you're scratching the crap out of it. You know, I rode this beautiful bike to Sturgis. I didn't trailer it, you know, and I'm not one of those guys, mind you. You know, don't give all those guys shit. It all depends on the bike, right? Like I've seen guys that have like 150 grand in a bikes, you know, all custom. Everything's all custom on the bike. Custom paint, custom everything, you know. And some of these bikes are pretty goddamn gorgeous, you know, under some lights in a nice controlled environment. It's very rare, if ever, you'll ever see them on the street, because the guy puts all his hard-earned money into it, and he'd be lucky to get it back if he sells it. And if he does sell it, he just sells it to another guy that wants to put it in a show, get trophies in his name, right? that's all good, man. Different streaks for different freaks. But I mean, for me, I ride the thing. What's the point of having all that niceness just to not ride it, you know? Like, I've got buddies with, you know, beautiful old cars, $100,000 Chevys and stuff like that, and all you do is sit around the garage, drink beer, looking at it. And I'm the guy that's always harassing them, saying, hey man, why don't we take this on the street and light them up, you know? Shit, I've even offered guys, I'll buy you a set of tires, let's go, you know? But no, it's worth too much money and all this stuff, and it's like, well, okay, well, in my eyes, that's all bullshit. You're gonna own something nice, man. Enjoy it, you know, it's just stuff anyway. When you're dead, what the fuck good is it anyway? You know, you might be lucky enough to have someone in the family that you can pass it off to or something. That's always the way to go if you can. Or as you get older, which is the shit they don't tell you, you get older, you get sick. You gotta sell all your shit so you can afford to stay alive another couple of years, right? That's the stuff that sucks. That's the stuff that they don't tell you about, right? You spend all this time and effort, and you know what? I think I forgot to take that shaft out. And there it is. But now I can drill holes in your benches. You know, that's why a wood bench is nice, because now you can drill a hole in your bench. Now the shaft goes right through the bench. So now you can stick it at this end so you can get to other sides. You know, when I first bought this bike, I guess it was my second Harley, and the first one I bought a Sportster. It was like a 71 or 72 Ironhead. It was already a rigid frame. It's pretty cool little Sportster, but I spent a lot of money at Danko Psycho in Cloverdale. Had those guys, Dennis, had him rebuild the motor for me, because when I bought the bike, it wasn't running, and I didn't want to fuck around with it, right? So, you know, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna build something, do it right, you know, take the guesswork away. And yeah, I just had him rebuild the motor. So that was a pretty penny back in the day. I think it was like $4 grand or something, but all cams and everything like that. And bike was pretty, man. I got pictures of it sitting on my kitchen table, the frame and the motor all in one. Back in the day when I could lift that shit all by myself, right? Not so much nowadays. But anyway, yeah, so I never finished the bike. You know, had kids, you know, doing whatever in life. Had to get a career. Was going to school for jet engine mechanic stuff. And then kids come along, life comes along, right? Like, story of everybody's life, you know? Just taking care of shit. Anyway, so years later, you know, divorce later, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna sell that goddamn bike, and I'm gonna go buy one. I'm gonna go buy one already running. Fuck this building shit, right? So that's what I did. I sold that Sportster. You know, sold it quite cheap too. I think I only sold it for like $4 or $5 grand or something. You know, the guy got a smoking deal as far as I'm concerned. All rebuilt motor and tranny and shit. Had Andrew's cams in it. And I really want to take that thing for a spin, man, because I know that thing was gonna hop. Would have hopped really well. Anyway, so fast forward, you know, about a couple years in owning my Softail here, and I used to hang out at a place called Future Cycle. Bill Slater, the owner. Good people, right? Old Greg, It's a mechanic there, old hippie, great guy. And then old Jerry, the guy who built my motor in this. Good friend that ended up passing away. Anyway, hung out with a lot of these guys there, met a lot of people through them. You know, old Bill Slater was a well-connected guy in the community. Knew a lot of guys, a lot of people, right? Anyway, had Jerry build the motor on this thing. And then one day it's all built and everything like that. She's all pretty, you know, because these guys are all running $100,000 bikes, right? You know, they're all got high power, massive paint jobs, everything. Pretty bikes, nice bikes, a lot of custom. You know, and here I am showing up, you know, hanging out with a freaking stock Softail, a Softail standard at that. Nothing special. I don't even think the bike had freaking chrome on it, to be honest with you. Well, I think the dash on the tank was chrome, and I think that was about it. But anyway, you know, so keeping up with the Joneses back in the day, I guess that's what that shit is, right? So ended up, you know, dumping about 65 into this bike, including the purchase price. You know, make it pretty, make it fast. And then I realized, you know, 25 years later, I really don't give a shit about pretty. I mean, I'm pretty happy that my bike's still a good looking bike, but, you know, I just like the power. I like to ride. So anyway, I'm sitting in the back because usually Friday nights was like beer drinking night there. So I'd always show up, tank of beer on the gas tank, or case of beer on the gas tank, sit out in the back, grab a chair from inside, sit in the back, put my feet up on my seat, read some Easy Riders or something until the boys were done work, and then we'd proceed to talk shit and drink beer, right? For a couple hours. Everybody's wives hated us in those days. But anyway, so one day I roll up on a Friday, pull the case of beer off, put it in the fridge in the shop, and looking at this fucking bike, and I'm like, hey, wait a second. That's my fucking old Sportster. And Bill and I, Slater, we start talking about it, you know. He's like, yeah, this young guy brought it in. I don't remember who I sold it to, if it was a young or old guy. I couldn't tell you, right? But anyway, so yeah, he's like, this young guy brought it in, and he's he doesn't have the knowledge to time the bike in and all this shit. So, you know, we start talking. I never met the kid because the bike left the shop, you know, when I wasn't there. So I never met the kid guy, right? So anyway, I talked to Bill about it later, and he's like, yeah, download that bike. And if I remember correctly, that thing came out with like 80 horse or 85 horse, something like that, and like 85 foot-pounds of torque. Pretty good for an Ironhead Sportster, you know. Pretty damn good, actually. So I guess all that motor that I had Dennis do at Denko Cycle, you know, and those cams, I guess that all helped. Old war stories, eh? I got lots of them. Yeah, I tell you, sure miss some friends, man. Got some more war stories or something later. It's almost time to flip her anyway. That's a dirty rag, right? Okay, so now I'm going to going to chase some of these threads in the transmission. It's always a good idea because of Loctite buildup and everything like that. So I blew them out with air, and then I run their chase threads. Okay, so there's a special kit there. It's not a tap and die set. It's a special chase set designed for chasing threads. So I'm going to sit here and chase some threads. And as usual, we want hand tools, right? Because we don't want, you want to feel any bind. Remember, everything's aluminum, right? So you just want to feel some, make sure there's no binding. So you just start it, right? Just start it in the thread. And then you can quickly this one's pretty easy. Look at that, just by hand. Just run it as far as she goes, and then just back her out. And then this way, you know, see, it doesn't cut the threads, right? It'll straighten them if there's any issue, but. And then just some brake clean. I just throw some brake clean in there. And then take your air. Sure I don't have any issues with that or anything, you know, old Loctite bottoming out, and you know, because these are blind holes, you know, filling it up with Loctite, and then you don't actually, any torque you do get on it, you're actually not torquing it because the bolt's not going all the way down. It's not pinching the primary to the transmission. So it's good to do that with any bolts, any holes that you have in any of your stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, I'll just keep on going. Okay, as you can see here, I cleaned these two bolts. I chased them, but then the surface, so this is going to be a mounting surface for the inner primary, the same with all up along here, the dowel all along here. This is all mounting surfaces. So you want to make sure that you go over all this stuff with Scotch-Brite, okay? Just go over it with Scotch-Brite, just make sure that there's nothing too built up on these, so that when you go to bolt everything together, everything sits, you know, kind of flat and plumb to itself. I'm going to do some polishing on top here because this is all visible because the inner primary sits right up against it. So, you know, the inner primary is like this. So you still get to see this top piece, right? So we'll clean that up a little bit, make that a little pretty. You know, the rest of it's looking pretty darn good. Is the only stuff, right? Mothers. And now you can sit there and just get some of this on there. Okay, so there you go. It's basically what you look like. It's all that you can really see. Not 100%, but it's nicely polished. There's still lots of scratches in the aluminum up here and everything, but I'm not gonna sit there and polish that out. Like I said, she's not going in shows anymore. Like I said, there's that top piece that is exposed. So getting there. Still got to do the back half here. I haven't really done anything over here. That'll get done later, but I think that's kind of enough. Nice and clean inside there. So yeah. And the motor's just as pretty. Okay. I will chat with you soon. Okay, well, transmission, successful mission on the cleanup and the degrease and some polishing I probably shouldn't have been doing, but whatever, you know, it's pretty, so make it pretty, keep it pretty. Next mission is going to be the girl, and we'll see what we can do about. Already soaked everything down with some WD. So yeah, we'll get her all cleaned up. Look at a pile of sand on the top of that swing arm. I wonder if you can see it. Yeah, so anyway, pile of sand on the top of the swing arm, but that's just what happens, man. And yeah, anyway. So if you have any questions, ask. I'm not a god, I'm not a guru, just a dude that's working on his bike. So we'll see you on the next battle. Cheers and peace out, man.